When we talk about plastic pollution, most people will agree with me that it is bad. It's something we shouldn't do and it's really not good for the environment. But do we understand really how bad it is and how bad it affects our environment? Let's take a look at this landfill here. As you can see, that's not somewhere you're going to want to build your house or take your summer vacation. It doesn't look pretty. People understand that. But let's talk about facts. Let's talk about how much trash was thrown away in 1 year. So if we talk about the world as a whole, the world threw away enough plastic last year to circle the earth 4 times. That's quite a bit of plastic. Along with that, in the last decade, we have produced and thrown away more plastic than the entire previous century before that. In plastic bags alone, the world produced and threw away half a trillion. As you can see, half a trillion is a very large number. The average American throws away about 185 pounds of plastic a year. That's quite a bit for each person. Then US as a whole threw away 35 billion water bottles, plastic water bottles, last year, and when tested for BPA, in America, 93% of Americans above the age of 6 were tested positive. So that sounds like a lot of plastic and a lot of BPA happening. So let's talk about the negative effects of the plastic. So when plastic is thrown into a landfill, you don't see it anymore. It's out of sight, out of care, right? Well, let's talk about the negative effects that it has. When it is thrown into the landfill, the plastic interacts with the groundwater to create a hazardous chemical. And when the wind blows, all this plastic and this trash is spread throughout everywhere, throughout the city streets, throughout fences, it'll end up in the forest, it ends up everywhere. And the negative effects this has is it can poison the groundwater, and it creates these hazardous gases that when the animals come near and breathe it in, it can suffocate them and kill them. And it's really not that good for humans either. So, the other alternative is to burn the plastic, which when we burn the plastic, it creates environmental pollution and causes poisonous gases again. So when we breathe in that poisonous gas, it can cause respiratory issues. So we can either burn it and have respiratory issues and poisoning, or we can throw it in the landfill and have poisoned water and hazardous chemicals. Neither one sounds like a really great idea. So let's talk about the different things that we can do today to help with that. First, let's start with the don'ts. Eating out, of course, is bad for you, but we need to not do it for plastic pollution's sake as well. When you eat out, they always give you plastic. Everything's plastic. The fork, the spoon, the straw, everything. So what do you do with that? You eat and you throw it away, and it adds up more plastic pollution. So we need to make sure that we don't do that. Along with that, using single-use utensils. Like when you go out for your picnic, taking the plastic forks and whatnot, it creates more pollution. Of course, don't litter, that's a given. Don't throw trash around, that doesn't help. And avoid purchasing lots of plastic items. If you can help it, avoid the plastic in general, and especially water bottles. Plastic water bottles are huge. People buy them, they drink them, throw them away. So let's talk about the do's then. Of course, recycle, that's a given. We need to make sure that we're recycling. If you're cooking at home, you're going to produce a lot less waste, and it's healthier for you, like we said before. So we need to make sure that we're using reusable dishes and plates and cups. If you have a glass one over the plastic one, I know it'll take a little bit longer time to clean it, but it'll help save the world a little bit at a time. Plastic straws, those are always bad for the environment, so avoid those as well. And then when you go shopping, make sure that you take your own bags with you, because when you go, you always just get like 10 bags, and it always creates a lot more pollution that way. So, of course, you can pick up other people's litter even if it's not your own. I know it's not fun to pick up other people's trash, but it definitely helps the world out in a lot better way. Make sure that you're spreading this information with other people. A lot of people don't really know how bad it is and what they can do to help. So if you share with others what you learn, then it'll be able to help the world become a better place. So make sure that you're always doing that. And if you do have to buy plastic, make sure you use it as many times as you can. I've used plastic utensils in the dishwasher before, they clean up fine and they work again the next time. Just keep using them over and over until we get the optimal use out of them. And make sure that we're supporting programs that help fight against plastic use. If we support these programs, then they'll be able to help clean up the plastic a little bit better, and that we'll be able to have a better world. And make sure that you're always doing your part. I know sometimes it can be an easier way to just use the plastic and throw it away, but it definitely helps our world and helps our landfills and helps our earth look much prettier if you're doing your part to clean everything up. And there's a lot of simple things to do. And so now we're going to turn the time over to Carson for him to talk about the plastic pollution in the water.